I'm telling you. Oh, hang on, Jeff Burton.
Burton up into Hornish.
Oh, he's going to come back up.
Busch, and now the big one.
There it is.
7, 8, 9 cars involved, many which were running inside the top 10.
That's the whole field, isn't it?
That's the whole field.
Look at that. Nowhere to go.
And these guys were trying to avoid the two coming back up on the racetrack, and the first group that saw them check up, and everybody runs in behind them. That is massive right there. That's incredible.
He just goes diving down here after he gets clobbered by the 31. On the 83, okay, this started already behind, but the 83 got turned.
But they see that going on in front of them, and they're all jockeying for position to avoid that. And it's that chain reaction accident. You know what I mean? Look at the cars, man.
There's a lot of cars in that accident.
Menard did a great job. He got up on the high side and kind of got around them. But these guys.
Today, the only place where big trouble. That's the rookie Suarez up and over Regan Smith, the big one at Daytona in the tri-oval.
Bad spot right there, and he just got behind in his steering.
Yeah, he got too far to the right, and coming off of the corner right there, that car unloads as you come off of that banking, and it just took just a little bit too much. And that's that window that you have to push. And if you get outside of the center of that back bumper, the way that the front and back bumpers are curved, it's going to spin that.
Takes a little time for him to get.
Oh, here we go. Martin got turned by Joey Logano on that one. Look at him out there.
Several cars involved, and it all got started when Logano got Mark Martin.
Truex is in it. Mark Martin's in it. See the
Stewart's in it.
33.
Just ran out of room.
Regan Smith got a piece. See Travis Kvapil climbing in. David Rudiman.
For him here, he's trouble. Contact on the backstretch. It's Mike Waltrip and now Brian Vickers. Robbie Gordon, 31. The time. Waltrip's over. 1, 2, 3 times for Michael Waltrip.
Well, there's the big one right there. Took a lot. There's a lot of good cars right there. Is that Sterling Marlin in there?
40 cars in it. That's Michael Waltrip's car, upside down.
See, looks like Johnny Sauter slid up in the 30 car into Brian Vickers in the 25. A chain reaction.
Yes, that's Michael Tuckins. Yes.
And Biffle, the pole sitter, looks like he barely got through there.
So you see the tire come off of Michael's car, then it got into that grass softened by the rain, and it just dug in, just like we saw Ryan Newman's last year, and sent the car over.
There's Harvick, Kevin LePage, Johnny Benson,
Terry Labonte.
There's a crash on the racetrack.
On the backstretch. Big problems going down towards turn number 3. A lot of cars involved. Rudiman is in that. Gilliland is in there. Boyer. You see the 43 of Sorensen, the 83 of Vickers. There's Rudiman. Dale Jr. caught up in it as well.
Well straight. Get out of the gas and hope you don't get run into or you run into somebody. There's not a whole lot you can do in this situation.
And the thing is, the accident started. Here's what happens with accidents at Daytona and places like this. You see these guys still piling into the wreck down here. There were almost 3 wrecks there, okay? You had the first wreck. You had the 12 and the 9 get together.
Going to go out to the right, and there wasn't room for him to go out there. He forced it down to the left, and the thing about spun out with him.
There's the problem right there. Kyle Busch, Mike Skinner get into it. The big one happens behind him.
So Rick Crawford just could do. That's P.J. Jones right there, the 63 truck. That was on fire.
I can't believe how crazy they were.
Wow, that's
flames blowing.
That's P.J. Jones
over
right there.
the top of P.J. Jones's truck.
Looked like he already had the window net down. He's going to try to get to. There's Kyle Busch going through the infield. Chad Chapman right behind P.J. Try to get by that number 8. And Mike's going to look like he just went up a little bit, and just enough to catch that left rear quarter of that 51 truck of Kyle Busch. This is a great view from the DirecTV blimp right here.
Oh, look at Chad Chapman coming in there late, and John Wood too. All but had it missed. But Phil, no matter how slow you're going, you can't see through the smoke.
No, we.
Back in Daytona, the big crash has just happened off turn 2. At least 8 or 9 cars involved. Heavy contact. You see the 33 of Paul Menard, one of the cars involved, and the car with the heavy front end that's smoking straight in front of us is Wally.
We see the 38 car of Casey Kane back there. Wally is putting the window net down, taking his gloves off.
Wallace, and then decided that hole was closing up.
Yeah, a lot of times you get that feel that you've got a push there, and you've really got to run, and you want to take advantage of it, and then the next thing your car starts to push right here.
And Leffler almost got him in the 00, but Bliss goes back across the racetrack, runs right in the side of Wally. Now he has no steering. And watch him just go straight down and hit the inside of the wall. He's trying to get it to go the right, but he can't steer the car. He sees the wall coming, and about this time is when you close your eyes because you're not going to like that.
Ouch. It almost looked like the throttle might have been hung on that. You could see the front tires weren't.
Those cars are cars that had made green flag stops prior to that caution. Boy, Brian Vickers, Dale Earnhardt Jr., that ain't going to work, boys.
Vickers hard.
Here we
Kyle
go.
Busch, the dominant car of the day, in the wall.
That was wrong.
And 10 cars sliding, slamming into the infield.
Jimmy Johnson, totally uncalled for. Totally.
I don't care who you are. That was just wrong.
Caution is out. McMurray was a contender. He's all torn up. And the dominant car of the day, that of Kyle Busch, is a victim of this.
And then you be the judge.
Let's reiterate the rule. You are not allowed to advance your position below the yellow line. If you are forced below the yellow line, you must come back.
Oh, here we go. Trouble. That's Casey Kane that goes sideways. Joey Logano nowhere to go.
Oh, my.
Clint
Half the
Boyer
field
through
is
the grass. The big one at Daytona has happened at lap 97.
That is the huge one at Daytona.
Justin Allgaier.
Oh, and the
Denny
18
Hamlin,
gets on its roof.
and Kyle Busch rolls upside down.
Now they fan out 3 wide as they get into 3.
Wow, those trucks are.
Oh, trouble already. Austin Dillon in it, as well as Johnny Sauter. The 18 of Kyle Busch is also involved.
98. Oh, look at this truck. The 10.
Jennifer Jo Cobb also involved. A big accident getting into turn number 3.
Crash. It's the big one. What a mess. There's a dozen trucks torn up in this one.
Man. Look at John Westella having such a good run running up in the top 10. There's Spencer Gallagher.
What happened? Kennedy was slow up top, but that didn't really seem to have anything to do with the beginning of that crash.
Right at the bottom, right around where James Busher was.
Yeah, it's like an accordion effect. Once it looked like somebody slowed, and then they started running in each other.
You don't think someone ran out of gas, do you?
It's possible. Within a lap or two, I think, of these guys coming down pit.
Turn 3. Car spinning up into the wall mid-pack.
It's Dale Jarrett, one of them.
Mark Martin is in it. Elliott Sadler, the rookie, and cars spin.
See Terry Labonte.
Steve Park is in there, 99. Jeff Burton,
yeah.
Joe Nemechek, 42. Sterling Marlin, number 40. Jeffrey Bodine, former winner.
Boy, that
Ward Burton.
Dale Jarrett right there as they head off in the corner. He goes down on the flat part of the racetrack.
He might have had a little bit of a bump from the 28 car, his teammate, as they went in there.
At 190 miles an hour, it's almost impossible for the brakes to slow the car to miss the incident. You steer for the hole and hope it's still there when you get there.
Boy, that track closed up in a hurry. When one car spun, they're as close as they were running together, they had to.
Park.
Yeah, 200 miles an hour with somebody pushing.
Trouble, turn 3.
Big wreck.
Brian Kozlowski, David Rudeman, Michael Waltrip, Matt Kenseth,
Big
and
wreck.
half the field.
I see about 3 of the Hendrick cars there that's involved.
Mark Martin is there. I see him. There's a Biffle. Jimmy Johnson's laying over there. There's a 24 car. Looks pretty bad.
Michael into his teammate, Rudeman.
Got Rudeman loose.
Right in front of Keselowski. Here comes Nemechek. Pow into Michael.
Look at. Nope, didn't make it. Didn't make it.
Brian Keselowski, we just talked about, was involved. That white car up against the wall there.
There's Mark Martin down here. Jimmy Johnson.
Place. One lap.
Whoa, there you go. There you go.
This is it, guys.
Jarrett, Nemechek, Jeff Burton, Mike Skinner.
It's
One
over.
car hard up into the wall, joined by another.
And they just keep wrecking.
And the hits keep on coming.
And the big hit was Joe Nemechek. Brett Bodine on fire.
Nemechek gets hit once and then straight up and into the wall. The drivers call it the big one.
Hendrick's getting a run off turn 4. It's going to be a drag race all the way back to the start-finish line. No caution. They're side by side, right to the line.
Big crash. Here they come. Checkered flag. Kevin Harvick wins the Daytona 500.
We got one car on his roof coming across the start-finish line.
Still wrecking. They're wrecking everywhere. Boyer's on fire. Jeff Gordon's wrecked.
And they are
Montoya.
still wrecking.
Montoya, Stremme, Kenseth, Biffle, Marlin, Carl Edwards, Casey.
Is this the big wreck? There it is. Robbie Gordon, Steve Park.
See Ricky Craven.
Is that Kurt Busch? Kurt Busch sitting sideways across the track through the smoke.
And he didn't have a car close enough to really get the air off the spoiler, so it wasn't that.
I'll be really interested to hear from Kurt when he comes back from the medical center, because that was unusual.
And Robbie Gordon, no place to go. He's got his load as best he can, but
and he gets hit.
Gets hit from Mike Wallace from behind. Well,
welcome back to Daytona.
It's the big one, gang. It's the big one. It's what we've all been fearing. This kind of racing is going to happen.
A horrible crash on the back straightaway that began when Tony Stewart got turned sideways against the backstretch wall number 20. Jason Leffler all torn up. The defending Cup champion Labonte. Stewart, there's fire underneath the hood of Bobby Labonte's car.
Now here we come off of turn 2 again. Right there. See, Ward Burton got pushed around by that car, and that's the 4 car.
And he got in the back of Tony Stewart. Of course, Tony Stewart going airborne here.
And it was Ward Burton's car being sideways that blocked up the track for everybody behind him.
Boy, and it gets hit by every car in the field, seems like, and Tony Stewart's car just took a whale of a ride. That must be at least 30 cars in that wreck.
From Tony Stewart's onboard camera.